how they're doing. You can see both are huddled up right in the corner. I suspect that there was a bit of sun on them at some point, and that's why they've both pushed themselves into that little corner, trying to get as much shade as possible. You can imagine with those down feathers how hot they must get in the sun. And because they can't fly, they can't really move too far from that shelf, so they shuffle around according to where the shade is to try and get themselves into as cool a position as possible. The thing is, though, is they also have another technique that they can use, which is to be able to gular flutter. Now, I don't see either of them doing it at the moment, but sometimes when you come here on a hot day, both these chicks are fluttering away, and basically it's like panting in a dog or a cat to try and control heat. So they open their beak and then they process air basically that cools the body down. It's like I say, exact same concept as what panting is, and it helps just with body temperature regulation. Maybe, but it is precious, isn't it, to see how much they're growing. It's almost daily you come past here and there's something different. Feathers have developed slightly more, and they're looking more and more like adult owls, aren't they? As you're just looking at their wings now, you can see the adult feathers starting to come through, particularly on the edges of the wings, so the primaries coming through there. They're not fully grown or fully developed yet, obviously, but every day there's more development and less down noticeable on them. And I always love how they just stare at you with these big yellow eyes kind of through all the fluff and just watch what you're doing. By now they should be fairly used to the vehicles coming up and down this drainage line. I don't think they are too perturbed. It's amazing, though, that they are actually still alive. When I think of, I was actually here this morning when we were looking for Tlalamba, and I was thinking to myself, you know, she walks around here often, so does Mulawati. You know, Marips has been in here a few times, and they generally come, this route where these owls are is pretty much on the route that a lot of our leopards use, because Elephant Carcass, the road, joins Twin Dams, exactly where these owls are, and they come off of Elephant Carcass and they cross straight over and they come down this bank behind where the owls sit. So there's like a slope that comes down behind them, but they could just as easily come down the slope that's in front of them. And if any leopard comes down that slope, they're immediately going to notice these owls. Not only will they notice them, but they'll smell them. And if those owls wriggle or move, for a leopard, that's very, very, very much an easy target. So the fact that they're surviving just is a good indication of how a huge amount of luck is required for mothers in the wild to raise young, but B, that probably the female is so vigilant, because she'll be here sitting watching us, and if she sees any sort of danger, she'll start mobbing and start to try and push and draw the attention away, and keep that predator away from the nest. But it must be an incredibly hard job when you think of all the animals that can get to this, from pythons to mambas when they were smaller, spitting cobras. You've got civet, genet, leopard, lions, wild dogs even probably would do it. I mean, I've seen wild dogs with a nightjar, so I suppose an owl chick wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility. Hyena. So a lot of different predators, and then there's birds of prey too. You know, something like a martial eagle spots that, they're not going to be shy to come down and try. So yeah, it always amazes me how nature actually produces little ones. When you think of all the dangers and all the possibilities, it's an incredibly lucky thing for an animal to survive its childhood and into an adult. And then obviously adult life is, if you're a prey animal, is fraught with danger. I suppose actually a predator too. I mean, they all live a very, very precarious life where a moment's notice can change the outcome of their future.